Hello and welcome everyone to the Countess livestream. I'm joined off the bat here by Cameron Winston, lead hero designer, and Jawan Peterson. See, I said it right that time.
Yes,
competitive
you definitely
QA.
said it right this time.
So we're going to talk about the Countess, have all sorts of action. So I guess we're just waiting on Kale right now. When he gets here, we can get everything started. He should honestly be here any minute. He's come back from vacation. Pretty excited to have my boy back on stream. So, oh, here he is. What's up, Kale? How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Kale.
How you guys doing?
Good,
Pretty
good.
good.
Just waiting, you know. It's we have the hero race. We got some nice Patriot Miso Sneaky showing up again.
Yeah.
Keep hitting it. That's how you get it, man. You keep hitting that hero race.
I actually talked to Patriot a couple days ago. He said he's ready for Countess.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hear he's gonna have some competition on Countess. You've been
Yeah, I've been talking about Countess quite a bit, hyping her up on Twitter and talking with the guys here at the studio. Like this is the one for me, Mike Kale.
Yeah, but that's I haven't heard you this pumped about playing a hero since like Richter. He was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go on live, play Richter, get the highlight reel hero. That's gonna be me.
Now I'm just as hyped for Countess. So
There you go.
I can't wait.
There
It's
you
gonna
go.
be exciting.
I don't know. I'm about to take you up on that offer. Had to join the race myself.
Oh, okay.
We can do this.
We'll see.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, guys. I won't be.
I think I've been the only one from Epic on the leaderboard in any hero race. So
Oh.
That sounds like a
just
challenge.
just throwing that out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's all. That's a challenge to everybody.
Yeah.
So you guys, come get it is what Kale's saying.
Basically.
Come get it.
So I'm excited. I think a lot of people in the studio here are excited. What other community things do we have today?
All right, I can't do this anymore. Kale, you were he's in a cowboy outfit. I can't do this anymore.
Why are you
He's
so bad?
wearing a full cowboy outfit.
I believed in you.
It's ridiculous.
I believed in
I
you.
can't handle
I
it.
believed in you, Mooney.
What are you talking about?
Listen, just why don't you read from the screen?
I'm in the spirit of
It's
Shadow's
fine.
Eve.
All right, that's fine. You're in the spirit. All right, in V33, we're gonna have Countess released, and of course, with Countess, we'll have her release skin, Silver Ghost. And in addition to that, we have the V34 card pack series community vote.
Yep.
So that came in. We have
Minor Kinetic.
Yeah, if you want to run through those Minor Kinetics.
Was the first one that was shown. Second one was Satori Cloak, and I believe the last one was Radiant Mantle.
Yeah.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Satori Cloak was. I thought Satori Cloak might win, but it was by and far that and Minor Kinetic had the two biggest
Right.
gaps in voting. I believe 70% went to Minor Kinetic, and then it was probably 60% went to Satori Cloak, and then Radiant Mantle, Mad Spore Sash was almost neck and neck. I think Radiant
Nice.
Mantle just
As they should
just-
be.
Yeah,
As they should be. I mean,
yeah. So it was good. I think the cards that most people suspected would win came out on top. So those would be in 34, 34-1, and 34-2 that those community picks would be active.
Save up that rep.
Yep. So that being said, we should hop into the Countess
the announce video.
It looks amazing for those that have not seen it. So let's take a look.
Her hunger is eternal. Her need is unending. Her prey always the strongest. For she is the Countess who stalks the night.
Nice.
So favorite part of that trailer?
For me?
Yes.
Well, so my absolute favorite part is the part where she jumps in and ults the Twin Blast, and then pulls back to juke the Meteor, and then kills Grux before he can get away.
Yeah.
That just to me demonstrates exactly what's cool about this hero.
Yep. There's so there's so much opportunity for big plays with Countess, and that probably is the greatest example right there. My favorite part of the trailer is actually the part where Greystone is in the jungle and he turns around and then she screams, because like that was frightening.
Oh yeah, it was terrifying.
Because if you didn't see the trailer for the first time, when she does that, the scream like makes you.
Oh yeah, no,
jump.
we had on headphones like the first time I was watching it. I had on headphones and I was just watching and I just hear that scream and it's like the jump scare.
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite part.
Yeah. It's super cool and coincidental that we're releasing a vampire near Halloween, don't you guys think?
Yes.
I think it's awesome.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah, it's the way the schedule fell out. I just think it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yep. And I happen to be. I mean, if she saw me in game, she might run away. But
Yeah, I wouldn't run away
why not?
because you look awesome. I would be like, who is that awesome looking guy? And I would be like, let's. I want to be friends with him.
Okay. Okay.
To be the first time
I'd
an
protect
enemy
you.
and an ally had
Yeah.
ever just
Serve and
like.
protect.
Yeah, just we can hang out, we get some
Parlayed on.
coffee. I mean, like we can
Get
talk
some
about.
coffee.
Well, I mean, look at his jacket.
That's
You don't
true.
even you don't have a cool jacket.
That's true. That's true. I don't have.
That's
full
so why are you
jacket.
talking right now?
That's fine.
That's right.
You were right.
I am right. Look at that guy. He's awesome. I mean, like you saw that. You see him. You see you. You got a Paragon
Yeah,
shirt.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So there's that. Anyway, so Countess, we here with Cameron and Juwan talking about her kit specifically. Cameron, what were some of the main goals that you guys were focused on with Countess?
So this is going to be awkward, but I'm going to just eat it right now. So the goal of this character was to make a burst caster, and I know we said that last time, but it was not fully correct. Like this was actually meant to be a sort of mage assassin,
Right.
And she was sort of concepted to be a character that can blow you up. And I know that we've had a lot of sort of contention about that kind of stuff in the past, but the reality is that while Lieutenant Blika does have the ability to lay on a little bit of a burst situationally, this character is able to kind of burst you consistently and with great effect. So we expect this character to be sort of terrifying to play with, sort of like the same kind of area that, the same way that Chimera is an assassin,
Right.
this character is also an assassin. And the main difference is that because the character doesn't have stealth, we're comfortable with her being able to do her rotations. She's super mobile, puts on a lot of burst damage. She's got a lot of great, interesting, fun utility built into the kit. She's got lane sustain. We definitely imagine her as a mid laner.
Right.
But obviously community, you guys do whatever you want as always. Yeah, that's kind of where we were. Those are our goals with it. And also, she's a vampire.
Right.
Right. I mean, she's not, but she's totally a
Right.
vampire. So I mean, we wanted her to be cool and work in that space.
So from the comp side, kind of design and comp working together. Jawan, what do you feel like were some of the challenges that you guys kind of ran into early on, and then brought back feedback to the design team?
One of the biggest things I'd say was what is a burst caster in our game, as we didn't really have one. So we have to shape her to be something that we can keep moving and introduce more down the line. So with a kit like hers, we had to keep adjusting and making it as clean as possible.
Right.
With the utility like her escape on her Q, make sure her rotations are solid, so she's just not a one rotation hero. That was one of the big things that we focused on. And I'd say making sure she had a proper laning phase. You can't just ramp up to your burst caster
Right.
without having a proper slope getting there.
So, Cameron, there was a bit of time when she went through some affinity changes.
Yeah.
And then we landed on growth and corruption.
Yeah.
What was some of the thought processes behind choosing her affinity set for making the burst caster that she is?
Well, so Dave Ewing's the hero designer behind
Right.
it, and so when we started to talk about the affinities, originally she started I think black red, and then
Yes.
I got on a headphone and a monitor, and I approached him and I said, "Fight me," and then it turned into black green. That's how. No, okay. So actually, what actually happened was we were looking at the kit, and I wanted her. So I was trying to help drive the hero design for this. I'm like, I think the roster needs sort of an assassin. This feels like a good way to do it. We had a bunch of. So I don't know if you've talked about this in stream before, but just in general, a lot of times when we're making heroes, there's 6 or 7 kind of generic ideas and ways we can go, and we try to massage it. And the kit goes through a lot of iterations before even the first prototype.
Right.
So there's a lot of things, a lot of ideas, and we're like, well, we want her to have like, you know, swords, and we want her to like stab people and like drain blood and stuff. So we were thinking, okay, well, you know, I thought it would be kind of good to get this kind of character, give her the ability to actually lane, because if you make an assassin, she's probably going to want to be like in a mid kind of position or in a solo lane, which means she's almost certainly going to be against someone like Gideon or Gadget or someone who's going to like kind of ruin her day. So she needs some kind of way to stay in lane. So she needs sustain, which is why she's got the sort of regeneration to help her do that. And regeneration is a super growth thing to have. And so that's kind of where it started to come from. And like, you know, when we're making heroes, we're really kind of picking like specifically how does the affinity match the theme of the hero, because ultimately, you know, the card system will change and mutate and grow over time. So it's not, we never design heroes specifically for this card or that card, like, because that we expect that to grow and change as time progresses.
Okay. So kind of riffing off that, Juan, what types of builds have you guys had in comp for Countess, and how do you kind of see it manifesting itself on the live environment tomorrow?
It all depends on what people like their playstyle. Me personally, I like my Void Steel Daggers and Scourging Tails, like really good cards to get that really quick burst out. I don't like being seen, so anything that gives me the advantage of being able to hit my characters with a lot of damage up front as quick as possible is a card for me, I'd like to say.
So what you're saying is you don't want to give up your build because you want to win the hero race. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying that, and you're just gonna have to look up my my card build when I'm in game.
Okay.
That's just gonna have the way it's gonna have to be.
When all those losses start rolling in.
I don't know what an L is. I only know what W's are.
So I'm curious, when comp goes into matches and you guys were in the testing phase, what type of plays kind of made people go, oh, in the room?
Yeah, what were those? Because you know those happened.
Okay, so
I got one after he's done.
the biggest thing is her Q. You can juke, you can play mind games with your opponents at any time. The biggest thing is if they're late to the fight, they don't know if you used your Q already. So if you kill your target and then their other enemies are approaching to that, you can just queue right back to wherever your safe spot. Most of the time, it's you trying to run away, and then you're queuing back to that position you were at, and they're now out of the way. Other times, it's queuing to a minion from them, so they chase that minion, try to go to your position, and you just go right back, and now you're out. Other times, you just kill them, and you get to just style on them, just like the trailer.
Cameron, you got?
My favorite play of all was early on in Vamps or in Countess' development when we queued OP buff and it died instantly because it was parented wrong.
Yes.
That was awesome. And it was like you couldn't do it, and there was like several weeks where I'm doing OP buff and I'm going, am I still allowed to do it? Because I didn't know if it was fixed for a long time. So that was pretty awesome.
Am I still allowed to do it? And then you just hit the button as no one responds.
Well, I mean, because I wanted the damage, right? You know, but like I didn't want to cheat the playtest because it's kind of cruddy to do.
Comp games ruined that day.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, what happened to Prime?
Oh, we accidentally instantly killed it with the new hero. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So I mean, that's really cool. Mooney, you want to hit some questions?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to like because Cameron kind of talked about like her idea with the affinity, like who she'd be laning against and like how she'd be handling that. And this is a question either of you can answer. Like, how do you see, or how was she kind of played out, like personally, like in lane? Like, how did you kind of manage like going back and forth through the certain matchups like you preferred? Like any personal like preference you had for how you played her in the game, like over the course of a match or something?
I got this, I guess.
Well, I thought he was asking you.
Oh, okay. She has a weak-ish early game, so the key there is to survive. Obviously, if matchup goes in your favor, like your opponent misplays and you get some poke damage off before you want to commit to whatever your combo is, whether you're pre-5 or after it, it swings into your favor after 5, I can tell you that.
Right.
So you just, my strategy is always survive. Stay alive, stay healthy. If you have to back, you know, nothing's going to come out of, if you gain more by surviving than losing when you die, so.
Okay. What types of team compositions do you see her working well with?
Anything that can give her, that can cause chaos, I would like to say. So you have a Rampage just diving whatever team fight there is, and she's able to just stealth around. Well, not really stealth, but sneak around in that fight. She will be able to cause her own chaos while everyone's distracted, because she can be interrupted between any of her abilities. So as long as she is not seen, she will be able to get all of her damage off.
All right. Mooney, you got it?
I mean, have you ever done? This is just one of those things I'm curious about, like kind of the playing through. Because you said, play it slow early on, but have there any been points you've kind of like waited very patiently for your moment to try and like snowball? Like it's like, oh, I'm gonna rotate over to black buff and like wait in the corner here because I know I'm gonna be able to just like blink up here and grab him, or like come up from the lane, and just come up and do an ultimate, like a combo with the ultimate from across the map. Have you ever gotten any like cool ultimate shenanigans?
Yeah, I mean, the trailer showed it all. Like
Right.
in the jungle, that is like her spot. Like, because you don't know that no one knows where she is, no one knows where their allies are. So if she catches you out alone, that is her time, especially after 5. Pre 5, going any quick early rotations that can get the ball rolling is
Right.
really good.
Okay, cool.
Cameron, one last question before we switch you out. What do you feel like was the most challenging aspect of designing her kit?
I mean, when I was working with Dave, like, was great. I mean, Dave brought a lot of really great ideas to the table that we're able to use to fix a lot of the design challenges we had. The one thing that I think, I don't know if it was so much of a design challenge, but it was just working with art. Like, we spent the most time, I mean, you were there, so tell me if this is wrong, but we spent the most time on the alt, what it looked like. Because there was a phase of the kit where like the ult was this like channeled kind of slow drain, and essentially she became the official setup Murdoch's ult character, and that was really bad. And it was like, oh, is your ult up? Because like my ult's up, and we can just kill anybody. and then it was like every 45 seconds you just delete anybody you chose from anywhere, and like so that wasn't working. And then we like, okay, we wanted to just be a big burst of damage, but then it was like, okay, what does that look like? And just working with the artist to be like, okay, they want to make sure it looks cool, but it has to also solve these certain design rules. And then we went through several iterations on it, and like I'm pretty happy with where we landed. I think everybody like really kind of did an awesome job in sort of selling how scary and awesome it is. And one of the things that the videos don't show you, which was super cool that the artists added, was what it looks like when you actually get hit by this. Which I don't know if you have any footage of, but you probably don't. But it's actually terrifying to be hit with this.
You're actually very satisfied.
Yeah.
On the receiving end.
On the receiving
I'm
end,
satisfied on the receiving end.
You're satisfied.
I can't wait.
mean,
I can't
You
wait.
get a little miniature cinematic out of it.
Nice.
I'd say.
yeah, the thing about it is like no one's happy to take a bunch of damage and die, but
This
if
is
you're
the
going
happiest
to,
you could be
like
taking damage.
at least it's awesome when it happens. So
Okay.
I gotta kind of hand it to them. They did a really awesome job there.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for being on, talking about the design and kind of testing phases of her kit. Really appreciate it. And, we'll see both of you guys here in the future.
I'll see you in your office.
Yes.
And you'll come to my room and see me
Yes,
eventually.
I'll see you. I'll see you frequently.
All right. Next up, who do we have?
I think we have Camille on to talk about modeling.
Modeling?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hello, everyone. We are here with Camille Kozlowski, senior character artist on Countess. So, Camille, I know we have some like Countess concept art and images that we're gonna run through.
Yep.
So, it's kind of as an initial question. I know I kind of talked to the design team before, but where in the process did you guys get? Did you already have a kit? Did they already have the design for Countess figured out, and then you started working on some of the modeling stuff, or was it?
Actually, well, we had a concept that was something we started off with, and the kit was something that I think at that time was changing a little bit, and there was some ideas. For they wanted to change the character completely, to be honest. But we decided to stick with this concept, and she looks kind of simple, but at the end she became a really complex character. But what we wanted to kind of keep this simple silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
She is an assassin, and she has 2 swords. So and the black outfit. Just that the trick was to make it look good in the game, and just to make her stand out among other characters.
Right.
That was a tricky part, and we had to test, some of the ideas from the concept, like the white hair or maybe the golden trims, if they're gonna work in the game or not.
Right.
So we decided to kind of make her a little bit more dark at the end. Like she has, in terms of her color scheme, she has black, pale skin, and some red accents, but we decided to kind of throw away the white hair.
Right.
Just maybe keeping it for
One of the
skins.
things that I love about her hair, at least in game, and you guys did like an amazing job. Like she has the smoothest, silkiest looking hair I have ever seen.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, hair is hard in 3D, especially in real time. So we had a bunch of problems with hair. Charles Anderson was rigging Countess, and he was, because she's jumping, she's teleporting,
Yeah.
so
Right.
you can imagine that the haircut would go crazy.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And it did. It was causing a lot of problems, and he was kind of fighting with Apex, because Apex was used in this case to simulate the hair in real time. But at the end, he managed to put everything together and kind of make it
Yeah, it ended
work.
up coming together really
Yeah.
good in game. So would you say that one of the biggest things was trying to keep the hurdles or difficulties that you had with the process was trying to maintain that simple, like she has this black outfit, these swords, and it's just some small amounts of like trim, but keeping it simple for the most part?
Yeah, we wanted her to stand out, but she does not have to, I don't know, machine guns or
Right,
a
it's
big
not like over
mutilated
the top,
arm.
right, yeah,
She's her silhouette is kind of simple, but because of the shader work, like her outfit is will reflect everything around her, and her color scheme make her stand out in the environment that we have. And I think that was the goal, to kind of keep her simple, but in the same time to make her stand out. And effects obviously helped out a lot with this task. But when you zoom in, she has a lot of different details on her
yeah.
that you don't normally see when you're playing the game.
What do you feel like was probably your favorite piece for her specifically to kind of work on?
Well, usually the most challenging part is the face, because this is something you relate to.
Right.
And it was difficult to kind of get the right look for her. She had to be she's a vampire, so designing her face was when we had so many iterations.
Right.
Right.
So the last one was the one that we liked, but she had more than one, and so that was really difficult and challenging part. So we started with a scan, but at the end, everything is kind of hand modeled and sculpted, and from the scan, she only has skin pores and skin details and imperfections that I just copied over.
From the katanas, were those more of a you took them straight from model, or did you guys spend a lot of time concepting them out?
The concept that we had was just the front view,
Okay.
and so we had to design the back view. The swords that she has on the concept are different, but we gave her a little bit more modern look.
Okay.
And decided to put the swords on the back while she's running around. And I think that's a good thing, because most of the time when you're playing the game, you see her from the back.
Right.
So she has to have something interesting on the back, just to so she's not just a dark silhouette running
Right.
around. So that was this is why we decided just to put the swords on the back, and the swords have the same color scheme, black, red, and silver, and this helps a little bit with making it visible.
The other thing I was really curious about is that she has like this jewel
Yeah.
here. Now, did you guys spend time modeling that, or was that
Yeah,
part of the concept?
Yeah, no, the concept was pretty loose in this area. The jewel actually has this kind of red shape, which my idea was to make it look like a drop of blood. I'm not sure if this is visible, but this
No,
is
no,
just
it totally is. Yeah,
it's
looks
just
cool,
a subtle touch, and she has like the lace details. She has skulls and roses.
Oh, I
actually,
can see that.
Actually, she has skulls and roses
If you look
everywhere.
at
I
it's
see it.
like it's at the bottom of the bottom of the blood tip. If you go to the bottom, yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, and the handles of the swords have a skull and roses as well.
Nice.
So that's the an element that kind of ties everything together. But you don't see this when you play the game.
Right.
You just see this when when we make a render like that. And yeah.
So yeah, next Shadow's Eve, when someone is cosplaying Countess, they now know some finer details.
Yeah, you get the skulls and some of the more lace. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that before we like cycle you off, the colors that you kind of use, the red and black you talked
Yeah.
about with the silver and some of the gold trim,
Yeah.
do you guys establish what kind of colors you want that are going to be moved forward using the character at any point in the future, whatever is added?
Well, we knew that she will have this, for example, this face paint, the red paint. This is what we wanted to keep, and her skin is quite pale, and so we had an initial idea of how she's gonna look in the game, but everything needs to be tested.
Okay.
So we would export a model into a game, just play and walk around and see how she's looking, how she looks in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the ideas from the concept didn't work. So this is why we decided to kind of go, black, red, and silver with the pale skin. And I think it works for her.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't mean that
definitely
she cannot have white haircut. She can have it in a different skin or
Mhm.
different, yeah. That was the idea.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Camille. This is really awesome.
Yeah, that was
I
super
like
cool to
getting
go
into
through.
the details about.
Yeah, the
cool.
art. I wouldn't have noticed the skull and the blood droplet if you hadn't pointed it out to me. So I'll be looking for that in game now.
Yep.
You die. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Cool. So next we're going to be having on Michael Shin and Tim Ellick, and we're going to be talking about FX and animation. So thank you for coming on, Camille.
Thanks,
guys.
Camille.
An allied tower is under attack. An enemy tower is under attack. An allied tower destroyed.
Hello, welcome back. So we're going to be hopping into animation and FX, and I think we can start off the bat by talking through some of the animation videos with Michael Shin, who did the animation on Countess. So we can pull up that. So Michael, if you want to just talk through the first video.
Yeah, so this is the early development of her basic attacks. So basically, I got the mocap data from Jim, who is a mocap animator, and he helped me a lot on getting a really nice, clean mocap. So I was able to spend more time on getting the style for her. But this one, so basically, I took 3 sections of basic attacks. Then after this one, brought stuff into the editor. So I wanted to give her at least one stabbing motion for this one, which which I felt like is less stronger for her ability.
Right.
And so we end up doing a keyframe animation for basic attacks, and that's how it looked. It went kind of fast.
So that
Played a couple times.
Yeah, so you guys go into the you get the mocap information. We kind of started talking about you missed that last week. We started getting more some I think when we had Scott on, he had some mocap videos that we played on stream. It was really cool to see that how well the mocap artist and like that animation goes through. When you guys get it, you're able to kind of translate it to the
that was for Belka that we first saw that and introduced that to the stream. So it's awesome to hear. Now with this specific actress, I'm assuming, or actor that played actress, did she have any martial arts background?
She didn't have the martial arts background, but she was really athletic.
Okay.
So she was able to much of like this ninja kind of style.
Okay.
Like really like snappy and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the animations look great on the animation. So you're saying that with the initial, you guys kind of had the stabbing in, and then you ended up switching it out for the second style of variation we saw?
Yes. So the stabbing from the behind camera is like actually it doesn't look that strong enough because the silhouette wise, it's like if you stab, you don't see much of the arm.
Right, right.
So, but yeah, that's
from the back you just see the shoulder moving or something.
So I'm curious, kind of talking about that, and this is just one of those things where when an ability doesn't look strong or something like that, is that when kind of animation or even effects comes in, and then maybe you guys kind of over accent each of the movements to make it feel powerful and feel strong?
Yeah.
Okay. We almost always key off of what the animators have already done.
Okay.
Or we'll just get together in a room and talk about like what could we be doing to make this read better.
Right.
Especially like depth is really challenging to read in third person, so something we're always working on together.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I think we have this targeting video up next.
So this one is targeting animation. So this is, if you look at this one, this is a regular targeting animation, which is, she seems like a little stiff. So our genius animation programmer, Lauren Delane, helped me set up the other setting for targeting animation, which will come out soon. So if you see like the turn and stuff, it kind of like lags in
very
motion.
rigid. Yeah. This is the next video.
Yeah, the next video, if you see, so we're able to keep all the transition as you're targeting. So we keep all this targeting. And then that was like one benefit of having her. Like she has an extreme like running poses and like that. So she feels a lot better with this new targeting stuff.
And you can see here, this is an example of where effects and animation work in tandem, where we like key off the poses that they create to show timing of like cast to convey to the other player like she's about to execute this ability. So if you start to learn the different poses and the timings of the effects with the animation, then you know things are coming.
Yep. That's really awesome.
Nice. Yeah, and I think we have actually, just to jump right into it, we have some FX videos as well. So
yeah, so these videos are kind of like showing, I wanted to show a little bit like what the game looks like without effects. So it's like how much do we communicate gameplay-wise through the systems that the effects artists are responsible for, and how you can see how much it piggybacks off of the animation of like, we accentuate, if you could keep this one looping, we'll accentuate like all the motion of her swords to really convey like the swords are the dangerous element.
Right.
And then we also use effects to communicate like the radius of the ability. So the effects artists aren't just only responsible for the particle elements either. We also do some of the camera shake. We work together with the animators. Sometimes the animators do camera shakes that are tied directly to movement of the ability, or the effects artists will do camera shakes that are like damage impacts and other things to help make the ability feel more powerful. Post-process screen shifts. So I think when you start to turn the particles off, you can see all the other little elements that we add. The decal that's on the ground that communicates the radius. And then we're responsible for making sure that like the effects actually conform to the surface, so you don't just have this like wall of inky stuff all around the player. And then we'll also work with the character artist to make sure we're carrying through like the base color scheme through of the hero into the effects, so communicate everything down the line, so everything has like it's all married together, and just help fill all the gaps, kind of like wherever there's gaps in communication of gameplay, or messaging for the player. So if you go to the next video, you'll see here's another example of like just basic strikes. Like there's so many systems in play here. Like when the effects turn off, you'll be able to see like we have another system that flashes the minion to show that you're getting damage. And without that little red flash, like it was really hard for people to know that they're actually hitting something.
Yep.
And especially in a game like ours where you have this like foreshortening of space because of the third person perspective, all these things have to work together in tandem to like layer on top of each other to really communicate like the gameplay. And that's something we're always working on, tightening up and tightening up and tightening up, and we're getting better and better and better with each hero. And you'll see too, sometimes we're going back through other heroes and tightening the bolts in places. So and then the next video, and another thing we have to worry about is like conveying height. So like this ability has a fixed height, and there's a series of like collision boxes that you can't see that are generated that run down the length of this ability. So the effects artist works with the designer, figure out the width and the length of that, and then we tie the effects specifically to that with like an exposed set of data that we can then spawn effects in the exact shape of that volume. And then as that volume rolls out into the world, it's literally just spawning effects. But we also make sure that it matches the height so that like it conveys the entire damage area. So it's not just like a wall of smoke, it's also like representative of the area where you would actually take damage in.
Now I'm curious, is it actually a smoke effect?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it looks so good.
It's a mix of decals. Like you can see, that's the decal that conforms to the surface. And the effects artist, we had another effects artist did the targeting decal for the precast state. So from start to finish, we kind of just help the designers represent like how is the player interacting with the world. It's like I push the button, something needs to happen. So it's like you show that you're about to do something. Then you push the button again, and the effects fly out, and then they show damage. So we try to represent all the different gameplay states of precast, cast, and resolve, so you know exactly how long an ability lasts.
Yeah, it looks like almost like a blood mist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
is
like it's
what
like
it
a wave
conveys.
is enveloping you,
Yeah.
and you're just like taking. Yeah, that's cool.
I went through all these like black metal album covers looking for these really weird shape patterns to give to the effects artists that worked on this. Our friend Dan Brewington did all the effects for Vamp, and he's out of Seattle, which is why I'm on the stream. But yeah, so I just gave him a bunch of references, like go through, find the creepiest pattern in these black metal album covers, and let's get that into the decal.
That's super cool.
And I think the next video shows some.
Is this the ult?
The ult is this.
Okay.
So Cameron was talking about what the view looks like to be attacked by Vamp, and the idea here is to show like we have multiple different ways of managing post processing. Sorry, it's a little hitchy because I was running it in the editor, but that's the view when she attacks you. So we have the game running on two separate clients, so we can modify post effects so that the person attacking as Vamp has a completely different experience than the person being attacked by Vamp. And it's critical for gameplay that we make sure we represent that on both ends, so that if you're Vamp and you're doing all the damage, it feels really good. And if you're actually on the receiving end of the damage, you can understand everything that's going on.
That's really awesome.
As well as have it look really cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
So she has like her eyes will light up, and then she has red trails that come off.
I've never wanted to get ulted more in a game now than I do right now.
Now,
just because of that.
Was this one of those ones where animation and effects really had to come together on this one? Because it looks very animation intensive as well. So I mean, it looks like she kind of gets bigger on screen, and then comes down. I don't know if it's just because the camera zooms in so much, but it looks really cool.
Well, Michael provides all the timing for the whole. So we know from design this has to happen in this amount of time.
Okay.
And we get into a big room together, and the whole team sits in there, and we talk about what's working, what's not working. And then Michael goes back and animates and iterates, and then gets with the effects artists, and we just keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking until it just like everyone agrees that it's hit the mark. And this is again another case of like we have precast state, we have attack state, we have damage state, like all the different gameplay mechanics that need to be conveyed. There was something else that was really important I wanted to share, but I'm blanking on it right now. But yeah, I think to Cameron's point, this was probably the trickiest part of her ability kit, like just getting that right and having it feel powerful.
Did you guys also have to do some of the states when they were in the phase of figuring out what the alt was going to be? Did you guys have to do several different like animation and effect states for those as well?
Yes.
So you guys went through the entire process and then changed it along with design?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And I think you talked about this, like one of the things you I think mentioned you wanted to talk about was this the sword being out, like the animation, some of the animation stuff, like speaking about FX and animation hurdles. Was there any specific big things that you hadn't experienced with the previous hero that you were kind of running into?
This one it wasn't more about the sword being out and then having a hand, but it was more of about her locomotion sets being like so extreme that her idol is really straight up, and when she's running, she's all the way bent down, and when she turns, like she turns all the way.
Right. Okay.
So her basic attacks or all the abilities require like at least 2 sets of animation for all the stuff. It wasn't because it's just about the sword, but basic locomotion stuff.
Okay.
Right.
I think effects-wise, one of the toughest things to nail initially was like she's incredibly attractive, and she's elegant and graceful.
Yep.
And the effects have to communicate danger and potentially like darkness, but we don't want them to be so dirty and nasty that like she feels like an unclean character. So it was like convey the elegance and the beauty and get all of the damage states and everything conveyed, but then also have her feel dangerous, and that can be really tricky to nail.
What was it like, and I just thinking about this, what was it like kind of making her teleport from kind of the poof in? Did you guys have that pose that she's in the state with this like this ethereal state that she's in, and then she teleports out and then teleports back? Was that kind of tricky at all for you guys?
Yes, Dave, Ewing, and Dan iterate on that quite a bit.
Okay.
We also need to convey directionality and team color.
Right.
So it's like she has to look beautiful. We have to add blue and orangish to her kit as well. Have it look elegant. Have it convey team color and not look cartoonish or garish. But we also have to show directionality of like she just teleported from here to there, and then she goes from here back. We have to communicate all that gameplay wise to the player as well as the people on the enemy team. So the teleport is pretty tricky.
Okay.
But animation-wise, I think you guys provide us with everything, so we just keyed off.
That. Okay. That's really awesome. Well, really appreciate you guys explaining in depth how all of those animation and effects came together on Countess. I'm sure we will see both of you guys here soon on some more heroes.
Yep.
Really appreciate it, guys, and thanks for being on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. You're fine.
What is up? Welcome back.
The pointing now?
Well, yeah,
Did you do
every
that?
time.
Did you do that?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think,
yes,
did you
of
do that
course. I
last
did
week-
it
last
every time, even on my stream alone. I do it every time. It's very personal. It's like when people come in the room at work, I point at them. They think I want something. I'm just saying hi.
Okay.
That's it. I'm just saying hi. It's hello, everyone. I'm here with Haunted Alea and Faye, 2 of our awesome community members.
Yep.
Streamers, content creators, just all around great Paragonites.
Did you just make that up?
That coined a phrase.
Paragonites. You went from citizens of Agora. He said citizens of Agora.
Well, that's not.
at
People
one
don't want
point.
to hear that. That's fine.
Paragonians.
Yeah.
And now it's Paragonites.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I'm just going through all of the potential.
Citizens
names,
of
right?
Agora.
That's still the greatest.
That's
one.
classic.
Still the greatest. So what's up, guys? How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good, good. I'm doing great. So if you guys want to just like tell the folks about yourselves a little bit, like what you guys do.
We'll start with Talia.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Talia, and I stream Paragon. I've been streaming since it was available for early access.
Yeah.
And it's just been what I've been doing full time. I just absolutely love it. I haven't been able to stop playing it. After I had left my job, I just kind of Paragon came out. I got a new computer, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do this all the time.
It was
and
the
have
first
fun with it.
game you've like streamed.
First game
Yeah.
I've streamed,
Right.
first
Yeah.
MOBA I've ever played. So I
That's
just thought, you know,
crazy.
I would like to know more about MOBAs. So I think that maybe streaming on Twitch would help me meet people from those type of games. I
Right,
can get some
right.
tips. I can like learn from these people, and I've met some amazing people.
That's awesome.
That
That's
play
awesome.
Paragon, yeah.
For me, it's mostly a hobby. I work 2 jobs.
Okay.
So I'm a professor. I'm a professor as well. So between work, professor, and then on my off time, I stream. So
What do
it's
you
pretty awesome.
teach?
I teach coding to second-year graphic
Hey.
designers. Yeah, yay.
Nice,
I love coding. So yeah, I do that, and then we pretty much started streaming around the same time.
Nice.
For me, I know the date, May 9th. That's the first day.
May 9th.
First
The
day I started.
exact day.
Exact
Nice, nice.
So no, it's been amazing. Did not think I'd get anywhere to where I am today at
Same.
all. At all.
Same.
Humble beginnings. That's how it starts.
Very
Right? You just gotta get in
Yeah.
there and get on the grind.
And
Consistency.
what a lot of people don't realize is like a lot of people at Epic watch Twitch. So we get recommendations from the designers, from other teams. Hey, you guys should check out this channel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And on top of what we're already doing. And
Right.
so Toria actually watched both of you quite a
Yeah.
bit. And so she's like, Kale. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
We just have so much fun streaming it. We just like
Oh, yeah.
laugh and just goof around and like
And
have
the
the
rage
best
is
time.
real though.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
so real.
I don't rage at all. Come on. No rage from me.
So
Chill.
we typically always have like one story or incident that happens. Like when Fizzer came out, like his flight got canceled, and then he had to like come in the morning of the stream.
Yes.
Oh no.
I think another Notch had an interest.
He
He's had
drove from
several
Charlotte.
interesting
Yeah.
situations. Melissa, you had a
The
pretty
worst-
pretty
the
crazy.
worst
And it was both your
experience.
both your first time
Yeah.
flying
Oh my
too.
God.
So that's
Yeah, so it was funny. Came in, I was early, maybe an hour and a half to my flight. Actually go into the plane and then sitting down, like, yeah, first flight, went very well for everything, the custom and stuff. And then the pilot restarts the plane twice, and he's like, okay, we're gonna have to switch you guys. And then I had to rebook, and then I was told, oh, you're only gonna be in North Carolina tomorrow morning, which is today at 9:40. So it was like, I can't, like, no, I need to be there yesterday. Like,
Can you have the
so-
plane just drop me off at HQ?
Exactly.
Can you just drop me off into the
Parachute
street?
down.
Parachute onto the
She's
stream.
like texting me all this while I'm like boarding my flight. I'm like reading it. She's saying it's not looking good for me. I can't get a flight, and I'm like walking onto my plane. I'm like, what? What do I do?
But luckily, I was able to I was on standby for the 6 o'clock flight.
Nice,
so
yeah.
luckily, it was the second one on the list on the standby.
good.
When they called my name, I like
You're like,
screamed. I'm like,
"Yes!"
yeah, thank you. I just kept saying thank you, and
It's
I was
awesome.
so happy.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm glad.
Unfortunate, but still awesome that you
Yeah,
guys are
exactly.
here. So what kind of got you guys into streaming? What was the motivation behind it?
So, like I kind of mentioned before, like she and I, we had spent a lot of time playing. Like when it came to PC gaming, I was always playing like MMOs, and I didn't really like the direction that MMOs were going in. So, a group of our friends that we met, like in Lineage 2, was the MMO we used to
Yeah.
play, had seen Paragon advertised, and we
Okay.
were like, "Oh, this looks like so much fun. It just looks like constant PvP," because that's what we liked
Yeah.
about MMOs.
Right.
Yeah.
So we thought we should all play this game, sign up for the early access, and play it like as soon as it comes out. So first day early access came out, we all played, and like I knew nothing about
Oh, yeah.
MOBAs, so I'm like, I
I-
need to meet people,
Yeah.
learn things. I'm gonna stream on Twitch and see what I can do.
I had a bit of MOBA experience. I played League
League?
for about a year and a half, a solid year and a half, and I just didn't. It was just not for me. It was too much. You had to click and then skill. I was just so complicated. But when I came into Paragon, I liked the fact that you could use your WASD. That I liked a lot, and then your mouse and your 1 and 2s and stuff like that. So I liked. I was just so used to the WASD, which
Right.
was nice.
Right.
It was very
Plus, like the game is just
Oh, yeah.
gorgeous. Like we were just
Yeah.
attracted to the way the game looked. I'm not afraid to admit it. The game just looked so cool. I was like, I gotta play this game.
Yep.
So favorite heroes?
Let's go.
Everyone's gonna hate me, but I love Kalari. She's the best hero in the game. She's so fun. She's just my absolute favorite.
Master Kalari?
Master Kalari.
Master Kalari.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
that's
that
my good
recently.
I did. I worked really hard to get her level
Yeah.
9. Okay, I dealt with all those draft dodges, like, oh, Kalari sucks. Please choose a different hero.
All
Spamming
the
it.
time.
Naomi,
All
please
the
pick a
time.
different hero. Stuck with it.
I think you put your title. Please
Yeah,
pick a
that
different
was my
hero
streaming
for
title for like a
or-
week when I was
it
trying
was
to
so
solo
fun.
queue with
That's
her.
hilarious.
And it was just
Well,
destroying my life.
Good news. Well, I'm just going to say this.
Yeah.
On Monolith, and I told you this last
You
night,
did.
Kalari is very good. Very,
Better watch
very
out.
good.
All you
So
Kalari haters, you're
if
gonna
you've
have
been
it coming to
practicing
you.
Kalari, you
Mhm.
are, on the right path.
Yay. So
Uh,
excited.
And then Melissa, what about you?
Well, I kind of had like a whole story. My first master skin was Decker, so I always
Nice.
Decker is just still like.
I can get behind that. I can get behind Decker.
But then after Decker, I wanted to play carry, so I went and did Sparrow. Love Sparrow. Just I've gotten to a place with Sparrow that I feel very confident on her. I'm still kind of a pushover. Like I'm not so much of a bully when it comes to being a carry. A little bit better now. And then I got her master skin, and then I went to Muriel because I was playing Muriel at first. I'm like, oh, I felt like I wanted to do more, so that's where I found with Decker, with her
Decker.
stun and her ult and
Yep.
whatnot. So, but then I went to Muriel, and I'm like, oh my god, like. But then Muriel went into like a downfall where she wasn't good for
Yeah.
a while, so
Right.
that kind of was not super great. But that's when I was playing Sparrow, so it worked out. But I'd say right now I main Muriel, but my favorite is Gadget. I just love Gadget.
'Kay.
She's so fun. I love being a bully on her with her mines and her speed gate. I like having to be able to clear a wave so fast and be able to escape, and I just love playing Gadget for sure.
So how many, I think 6 master skins?
I have 6 master skins, yeah.
How many do you have?
Muriel, Decker, Sparrow, just 3.
Uh,
But
You gotta be close to like another one.
Yeah,
of
why
yours.
don't you? How many do you have, Kale?
I have 2. I have 2 right now. I have Richter and I have Howitzer.
oh,
Got it.
very
so
different.
6, 3, 2. Nice. That's awesome.
What?
I play a lot. Like I play a lot.
How many do you have?
We don't want to talk about that.
Yes, we do.
So what's one less than 1? What's 1 less than that many? I have that 0. I have 0.
But then that means you have a lot of heroes that
Yeah,
are.
no,
it
like
means you have more
the
experience on other
potential.
ones.
I potentially have 10.
Potentially.
So on paper I have 0, but theoretically I have 10 master skins already.
No, you do. I mean, for those that don't know, Mooney transitioned from comp. He spent a lot of time playing the game. A lot. And so, theoretically, you probably have all master skins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably like the.
But-
mostly steel. But, like
But
the rest
on
of-
live, you have.
Yeah, on live, yes, 0. So I'll be putting some work into that. That's my next project.
So what is
by
your-
next stream, I will have 1 master skin. I'm setting a reasonable
That's a good
expectation
goal.
because last time I did that thing where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get top 10 in the hero race. That's not. I was that was just a poor decision on my part. But me saying I can get at least 1 by next step stream. If I do 2, then you're pleasantly surprised, right?
Yeah.
Under or what is it? What is
Yeah.
it? Under deliver, over perform.
Yeah, sure.
So one of those things.
Sure.
One of those things.
Sure. So if you say 1 and you get 3,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would be
Then
like,
you're
oh,
just
wow.
like, oh, you got 3. Yeah.
Okay. So Countess. I know, Talia, you are very, very excited for Countess. Melissa, I didn't have a chance to talk to you last
Right,
night,
yeah.
but how are you feeling about Countess?
Well, we played her this morning.
Right.
And from being a support, ranger main, she was so much fun. And for me personally, I love being able to clear waves. That's kind of like my safety zone. I like being able to do that,
Right.
you know? And she was just amazing. Her skill, like he was saying before, she's elegant, and like there are no other heroes like that. It's just,
Clary's elegant.
and I love her. That is true. That is true.
Finesse.
Can't compare it to Kalari. But like her hair, like when she jumps, it's just like it's a nice.
Doesn't she have the silkiest,
I
smoothest
know.
hair
I
you've
looked
I
at
ever
love
it.
the
seen?
bangs are like
Yes.
the
I don't know
V
what
bangs.
shampoo she has, but I need that
Oh
in
yeah.
my life.
Please, I'll take 5.
It's L'Oreal.
So Talia,
Yeah.
what about you after
So,
playing her?
so I hate to keep bringing up Kalari, not really, but coming from like playing assassin Kalari to like playing Countess, who can actually lane but has like assassin abilities, just makes me feel so much better that I don't have to incorporate Thundercleaver into my build just to like be able to just try and split push on Kalari and like do some damage on the minions without dying after like 1 minion wave. I can still have like assassin type abilities in a lane and be able to hold the lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Do
Yeah.
you guys have some theory crafting like decks you've already kind of put together?
Void Steel Daggers.
Void Steel Dagger.
Yeah, man.
What about you, Melissa?
Oh God, that's the thing. I don't really
Mana.
play.
Mana.
Yeah, she is very mana hungry, so consider it mana. I don't
Definitely.
know. I really don't know. Probably just.
I think we'll have a better idea after today.
Yeah, probably more health damage and like a little bit of attack speed. So probably put Wind Carver Blade, and then with the upgrades have maybe one attack speed card, and then I think she's very front line. I feel like so I'd go with health cards for sure.
So, Moody and I'm going to just tell people this one card, because I have not used it yet in a deck. Maybe I have, maybe a year ago.
Or like once, maybe.
Maybe once.
Like
some year
once
ago.
a while ago.
So Clear Heart does 15% more healing for anything. So health regen
Oh, okay.
or the life grant, I think is what it states.
It's like
on
a
the
life
card.
steal and health regen.
Okay,
I think
so
it says on the card.
she has the life steal. So what I want to do with hers is like, you can blink in, blow someone up,
Yeah.
and then if
Yeah,
you
it's
have Clear Heart, you get 15%
She's
more.
the passive on her like
Insane.
spin around that. It's
So
just like it gives health back on.
That
your
is the
kill.
one card I really, really want to try for her. I'm just throwing that out there for everyone. I'm curious to see what type of decks are kind of put together.
Yeah.
And you guys will get to play her here very shortly. So we asked you a lot of questions. I'm sure you guys both have some questions for us. So shoot, we will answer what we can.
Okay.
Okay, so Twin Blast. This is like what's his rework gonna be like?
We can't
Can't say too much.
specifically. I don't know specifics of what his rework is going to
happening.
be, but he will have. And people kind of misquoted me on this. Just for clarity, he will have a dual affinity. So
Okay.
you guys
Yes.
remember Kalari was black,
Right.
corruption, and Gadget was intellect.
Yeah.
And then they got
Secondary
two
affinities,
added.
yeah.
Is
So-
he the last one that only has one? I think he's the only
He is the
one
last
that,
one that
Yeah.
only has one affinity. So we're moving away from mono affinities, and when his rework comes, he will have another affinity. I don't know exactly
Okay.
which one it will be.
But that's probably
but
that's
that
the most
is what we're thinking.
specific about the rework at this point.
Cool.
That is basically as much
Yeah.
detail as I know right now.
I'm excited to see what you guys did to his alt. That's one thing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that.
I think the team is really. I mean, Twin Blast is really binary in that, like,
Yeah.
his kit does a little bit of everything, and so like if
Yeah.
you tune him a little too far, he's like
He'll
god
be-
tier,
yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and his alt has consistently, at least based on community feedback, been a bit of a like letdown for folks.
Underperforming lately.
It's the best
So-
wave clear in the game.
I think
It's the
the
best wave clear in the game.
I think the team is really evaluating, his kit entirely and like what he needs to have, what he shouldn't have, and then making his ult, a lot cleaner and more useful in combat for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like comparing his alt to all the other carries, his alt is like below, out of all of them, because you have Murdoch Global, and then Grimm's Target, and then Sparrow's Cone, and then his is, it shoots long, like farther, but
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's just a slow.
It looks
Yeah.
pretty cool though.
Yeah, for sure. I love the transition
You like
to.
transformed? Yeah. Okay.
But,
Yeah, we'll definitely we are
It's to the gun show.
evaluating what needs to be done. The design team is going to focus on that here very very soon. So
So soon is the date.
soon.
Soon.
Cool.
Soon
Hopefully-
11th.
Soon
Soon
11th.
11th.
Soon 2016.
I don't want to put any
Right.
on stream deadlines for the
Yeah.
design team, but yeah, they're working on it for sure.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, I remember it was a few streams back, and
Okay.
it was a gadget skin. It was a hashtag. There's two.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
the
yeah,
yellow.
yeah.
What's the ETA on that? Because
I actually don't know. That is so the community voted on one of those skins that would be made next as I believe Gadget's first tier 2 skin.
Okay.
I don't actually remember which one won. It's in our notes.
Yeah,
but, whatever one won is the one that the team is working on, and when they're done, it'll be out and available.
So still a long way to go then.
They're working on a lot, and
That's
so
true.
I don't know exactly. There's a couple Gadget skins that
Oh my god.
are. Yeah.
No head. No
I-
hat.
I don't know which
something?
one is being prioritized.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So I think you
definitely
guys
in
will
the
probably
pipeline.
get to see some
Okay,
of them
that's
today
cool.
right here.
Cool.
What else?
I have okay, it's kind of like about skins. Do you guys have kind of like a direction on how many skins each hero you want them to have? Like, because I think Murdoch's the one with the most. He had 6 or 7. Steel is pretty much.
Still has a lot.
Yeah, a lot as well.
He does.
Because there's a few, like, I know Richter Gadget only has 4.
Right. So as we've kind of gotten on, further along, I think initially the main focus was on getting skins in the game, getting a pipeline or basically a cadence that the team could follow and say, okay, this is what we need, this is where we need to be, how do we get there? So a lot of the skins that you see initially, either the tier 1 reskins, and then some of the early tier 2s, and then our first tier 3 with Doomsday Steel. It's the team figuring out how we create skins for as many heroes that are coming out, how each skin will look. So like, what's the differentiation between a tier 2 and a tier 1, a tier 3 and a tier 2? So we're figuring it out. A lot of stuff has just been like what they can finish, and then it's been iterating on how we can get better at it. So I would say going into next year, and even to some degree the latter part of this year, because we've gotten pretty good at it now, is you'll see more of like a, oh well, this is Gadget needs more skins, or this hero needs more skins, or this is the theme that we want to go with for this set of skins, rather than us trying to work on it kind of ad hoc and learn as we go. So it's been more of a planning thing than anything.
That's cool.
Anything else?
When does Grandma Grux make an appearance?
Grandma Grux.
Grandma Grux.
I'd like to know the lore.
I think you had a lore tidbit at the top of this.
I did have a lore tidbit for Countess, and I was actually going to tell it right before we ended the stream. I have no idea on Grandma Grux. Maybe she'll be in the game. Maybe she
should
won't.
just
Maybe
like
she'll
pop
be a
out of the
skin.
jungle and scare you.
Yeah, you know, there's a couple different things that we've been kind of floating around for Grandma Grux specifically, but yeah, it's
Such a weird topic.
I can't say any of the ideas right now because they're so far in the future right now that it'd be like they could change at any moment.
Cool.
She is Grux's grandma. So
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
There you go.
We can all glean that from.
Do you wanna drop your lore tidbit?
Sure, we can drop it. No more questions.
Oh, I wasn't done.
Oh,
That's what I thought.
The map. What's
yes,
new
yes,
about the
that's
map
right,
that
that's
you can say? Because everyone's wanting to know the map.
The map.
And what do you think is going? I know there's a lot to change, like from going to Agora to Monolith. And not having travel mode. What's the biggest change you feel is going to have and impact the game going to a new map?
I think the biggest change for everyone is just going to be not having travel mode. I mean, that's the biggest differentiator between the two. I mean, it's obviously much smaller. It's essentially learning a new map. I think is challenging because like a lot of the feedback that you get from new players, especially when the game Paragon first release, was like, man, the jungle is so confusing.
Oh,
Right.
Like
I
the
used
jungle
to
is
get
so
lost.
confusing. We need more detail in the mini map. There's things like that where even on Monolith for me now, I'll make a turn and then it's like, oh, I just trapped myself. I'm dead.
Right, yeah.
Whoops.
Okay.
So, I think the big hurdle people will have is one, kind of adjusting to a non-travel mode environment, and two, relearning that muscle memory of, oh, if I drop down here, I will be exactly in this
Timings,
position.
understanding where you are, a lot of that.
So those will probably be the biggest two changes from a map perspective. I think there's going to be a lot of differences for the game experience in general
I
when
was gonna
Monolith
say.
drops for hero designs, and the lanes are obviously a little smaller, so there's different ability work that needs to be done. So people kind of have to relearn what ability is going to hit here and do this.
I
and
was
so
gonna say.
that'll be kind of challenging.
Yeah,
for
it's gonna
community
be
members.
like almost like a whole new game for people like me who are just getting used to like the
getting
technique
comfortable.
and like strategy of MOBAs. Not like an entirely new game, but it's gonna take some time for me
You'll
to adjust.
You'll have a very good baseline understanding
Good.
of the game mechanics.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some minor differences that end up turning out to be very substantial, and I think the biggest one is just learning the new map.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of nuance.
Okay, I have one more.
Okay.
Do you find like each hero or change a bit when it comes to the new map? When they're going to be in the new map, they're all going to have different. How do we say this? Like adding the heroes into the new map. How are they going to change? Is there a lot of changes that you have to do to the heroes to accommodate the new map? Because
So, one of the things that we talked about is increasing the movement speed, the base movement speed with the map. So, if you guys remember, Talia, you may remember specifically when we initially increased the base movement speed right around, I want to say it was like April-ish, maybe even, I think it's April.
Yeah.
We then had to change a bunch of abilities.
Yeah.
And we did that over time. So it was like Gideon's ult needed to speed up a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Grux's smash and grab
Yeah.
needed to speed up a little bit. There's little tweaks like that
Yeah.
that'll
Yeah,
affect
okay.
each of the heroes that the team is kind of trying to tune
So
right
that's
now.
huge.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean it's
not a small update.
right. So I mean once it comes, there'll be some substantial changes to the game in general.
So that's why it takes such a very long time.
Yeah.
Gotta be patient for that.
Yeah.
Clary's gonna be great again. She's gonna be
Yay.
fantastic.
Hey, she's great.
Well, I think she's
in the
great,
right hands.
definitely. But
Okay, I'm done.
Any more questions, Talia?
I'm all set, I think.
Okay. Well, Chris is going to take you guys to our stream room, which is nice and pretty
Yes.
now. So we will get you guys all squared away, and then once you guys are all loaded up into the game, we'll be hosting you guys.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
All right. So thank you so
Thanks
much
for
being
coming.
on.
Thanks for
Thanks for
coming
having us.
on.
We have a lot more in store for you two for today.
Oh boy.
So it'll be great. All right, guys. We are going to pop open the chat and talk to you guys for a few minutes. So we're going to let them exit on off and then get right to chat.
Okay.
An allied tower is under attack.
Okay, we're back.
Hello.
I had to get out of costume for a second here, so I could
Get
see
out
the
of
chat.
costume. Get out of here.
I'm still Wild West Murdoch up. So here's the thing about this, guys. I didn't tell anyone here.
Yeah, no, he
that
even
was
teased me about it. He was like, "Oh, there's gonna be a
doing
surprise
this.
tomorrow."
Yeah, I just was like, hey, it's gonna be a surprise tomorrow. So chat is blowing by right now.
Blowing.
Will Agora be a special mode type map, or will it be gone completely? So the plan with Legacy
Yeah.
is that we're going to see how testing kind of goes on Monolith, and the plan is to phase it out, right? We don't want two competing 3-lane maps, so that is the plan as of right now. We want card crafting. We are working on it, Naval, Wald. I'm so sorry if we murk these names.
Oh yeah, it's inevitable, knowing our track record.
Is Countess's alt uninterruptible? I believe
No,
Jawan said that you can interrupt
he
it.
said, yeah. So he said, like most of her abilities, you kind of want to be careful when you go in because you can't interrupt the animations. Actually, on her blink, if you blink in and you're interrupted, you will be unable to just escape to kind of have that risk reward, play
Right.
around. So that's honestly, I think, going to be a huge thing is finding the way people can play around that, like figure out how to get in without getting CC'd.
Why did we nerf tower damage to enemies?
I don't know what that. I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's. I don't know if we did that. Tower damage to enemies. I don't know. Is he referring to the minion tower damage?
I think so. I don't think that we actually did
Yeah.
that. What we did was we changed the rate of fire. Which
Yeah. So some of the towers do less damage, but the rate of fire was increased to kind of give a more consistent hit. So now when you're getting those last hits, you can kind of be like, okay, 1, 2, last hit, 1, 2, last. It's kind of a very. It's one of those commonplace muscle memory things a lot of people kind of get used to, but it's one of those things that once you notice it, it's a feel.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I'm always really happy to talk about with the animation in FX is the feel stuff, because that's subtle things make it feel so much better.
Will there be any tier 2 or tier 3 Richter skins coming anytime soon? That is from Grizz. We are working on new skins for all heroes all the time, so you can assume yes. I can't give you a date on those though. Can we do something?
Hi Fizz, I saw that. Hello
Hey, Fizz.
Fizz, I love you.
Are you still thinking about giving heroes specialized scalings? That has never changed. If Cameron were up here, I think his big thing was like we needed a baseline, or Kevin
Yeah.
would always say it. We need a baseline of where our heroes need to be, especially early on. So it provided us an opportunity to define what we wanted our heroes to be. So as we continue to release new heroes, you guys will continue to see them tuned in a very specific manner. Any big game mechanic? That was way too fast.
Do you have any lore for us today? Oh
yeah, you know what?
That's
I didn't.
That's right,
I didn't tell the
that's right,
lore.
that's
All right, so what do we have? We have 4,000 people in today. So Countess lore. It's my lore drop. So Countess is seeking out. She's seen him before, but she's seeking out more from Sevarog, and there's a specific reason why. So she's seeking out more from Sevarog. Sevarog is aware of her existence, but she's seeking out more from Sevarog specifically. There's also some other lore that she's attached to for a hero that is not released as well. Maybe we'll talk about that when that hero's time is here.
You said drop lore, so you're like the official lore bot.
I'm a lore bot?
Yeah, you're the official Paragon lore bot.
There's lore for you guys. She is seeking more from Sevarog.
He said good job with your PTBR translation. Thank you. No, thank you. That's also, I don't know if you guys noticed today, but we during our when the gameplay, Countess gameplay is playing and some of our other transitions, you might have seen a nice background. Shout out to Clint, the homie, for setting up that background. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. All right. So just so I can get back in costume, so just so you guys can see this one last time, Wild West Murdoch, because I see Alea is about ready to go. Ugh. You guys can see here.
That's his sidearm.
Chaps on,
He's got chaps.
and then I guess I got the vest,
He's got the sheriff's badge.
and then I got the hat. All right.
There it is.
I also have the patch for reference.
Of course.
Now I don't have my earrings in. I actually think he has earrings in
Does he?
as well. Yeah. I
Okay, well
believe
then you
so.
have to now.
So I also don't have the gun. Now the gun I'm actually working on.
Really?
Yeah.
Like an actual.
The actual the huge
All right, man.
rifle that's in there. So I don't know when that'll come out, but also working on that. So we're gonna go ahead and host Alea. Let's make sure we got this right.
Looks like they're set up. Yeah.
They're ready to go.
Awesome.
Now, they will be playing Countess, so if you guys want to see live Countess gameplay, you want to check out Alea and Faye. Follow their channels. Support the Paragon community. Do all that you can. They will have knowledge about Countess. You guys can ask them about maybe some other stuff as well that they could. I'm sure they could probably talk a little bit about. But really thank you guys for stopping by the stream. Hopefully Paragon Bot has given you some Shadows Eve codes. And until the next stream, we will see you guys later.